Good evening, everyone. It's actually Saturday night now. Hope you're having a nice evening with your family, your relatives, and your friends. Okay. Tonight we're going to speak about Sushant's diary. In fact, lately, Deepti ji have been randomly uploading some of the slides, and I have been going through the slides, and a lot of big names have been exposed. And I thought, well, I should invite her on our channel to share about the slides, and she's going to read some of the slides too. So she's on the backstage. Let's welcome her. Hi, Deepti ma'am. Deepti ji, how are you?
Hi, Bachant ji.
How are you, ma'am?
You can just imagine how I am with a lot of
Yeah.
negative PR, maligning campaigns against me, and a lot of other pressures as well, which people can't see.
Okay.
You people can only see the harassment and bullying and maligning that is happening on social media from time to time. But apart from that, there are other pressures coming from other sides as well, which I cannot reveal. But uh, you can understand, like, if such big names are coming out, what sort of
I actually,
pressure. Yeah.
yeah, I guessed as much because when I read those names, I was thinking, oh gosh, this sounds pretty scary. And I understand you would be going through all this. All those people up there probably will be harassing you. Yeah, only some part of it we know that they're trolling you on social media and all that. But um, don't worry, ma'am. There's a lot of people out there actually supporting you. They're looking up to you. In fact, even in my show, they don't even want me to speak. They want just Deepti ji to speak. Don't interfere in between. And
They don't want, they either want Bachchan or Deepti to speak. They want to hear to Sushant's words.
but you have to understand, they want those Sushant's word through your mouth.
Oh,
Seriously, I can read those slides, but let me tell you, they are waiting for you to read because you are the founder and you're exposing it. They feel good hearing from you, I suppose. In fact, I feel good when you're actually reading those slides, Dipti ma'am. In fact, I have to, thank you so much for revealing this because when I read those slides, I can feel, Sushant is trying to expose a lot of things. Those words that you read, you can feel actually is coming out from him.
and
It's like
actually,
Sushant talking to us. Yeah.
yes, and as more and more slides I'm decoding and sharing, you can also see that the connections can be made from the initial doubts that we had upon certain people who were present at the time of the crime scene around Sushant. So
Yes,
all those
correct.
names are coming out now. I mean, as I am decoding more and more files.
Yes. When,
So
when, when you connect the dot, it's all falling into place. And now I can
place.
understand why these people, even though he's a big star, they really want to, get rid of him because there's a lot of names he's exposing and they want to
and
cover it
also
up. Yeah.
and also Bachchanji, now you can understand why this case is not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yes.
Why investigations are not revealing any names? Why this case is not going anywhere? It has. It's high time. I mean, Sushant himself has written in the slides about the power of the common man, the people coming together against the wrongs of the system and all. So I think yes, we have a good prime minister. We have a very strong prime minister. We just want to tell him that I am not here to malign the agencies or the authorities or anyone. As a concerned citizen of the country, I have faced a lot of injustice and a lot of issues. Why in my quest for justice for Sridevi, okay, I have faced in the hands of the system. So I want to bring this to the notice of our authorities so that we can work together to make this make our country a better place. Our prime minister keeps saying that he dreams of making India Vishwaguru, right? So if the citizens of the country are not getting justice, if the crimes are not getting solved ever, if the cases are pending in the judiciary since like years and years and years, so if we do not become, I mean, if we cannot keep our people happy, if 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 I can't keep, just a second, Bachchan.
Okay. It's okay. No problem.
Yeah, if the people of the country, if the citizens of the country are facing so much problem when they try to when they try to get justice for the people whom they care or the near and dear ones, then it is something very alarming. Okay, so all I want to pass on, I just want to pass this message on to our agencies, be it CBI, be it NIA, be it IB, or be it our authorities. We just want to say that we, as the citizens of the country, we are with you. We are with you, but the crimes, it cannot continue that the crimes keep happening and no one ever gets punished. And
Correct.
now the people are beginning to worry if it is happening with people like Sushant, if it is happening with people like Devi, they are celebrities. What will happen to a common man?
Exactly.
That's the only thing. I do not have any. See, I was threatened. People are threatening to file cases of instigating public hatred. Okay, against me. Okay, they. So as I was telling you, pressures are coming from other side also. But my sole intention is to make people aware of how the systems are actually functioning, why the crimes are not getting solved ever. Okay, we are here. Sushant too sacrificed his life to correct the wrongs of the system. Let us all do it together. We are not against the authorities. We want to work with the authorities in making this dream, this vision of Sushant's come true. And that is what our Prime Minister Modi ji also wants. I believe that, right?
Yeah.
So with this
We all
belief
think that.
only, yes, with this belief only, we do understand that there are so many pressures for the authorities as well, relations with other countries and everything. But then, all said and done, justice of an individual can never be compromised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well said. In
So
fact,
now you're seeing Bachandi. See, I have been sharing ICJ documents, Supreme Court documents, and now accidentally I came across Sushant's drives. In your interview only, in your channel only, I think while talking about Sridevi's case, I mentioned that I got some information. I have to go to Mumbai to pass it on to.
yes. Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
So this entire journey, you all have been witness to. I have put it on social media. Okay, but still, in spite of that. People are raising issues about the India Today report, which declared the document for records of Sridevi, which I shared as fake, for which the explanation I gave long back. Okay. So I just request people not to get misled. Now they are not able to, take me face on. Some big names are coming out. They are not able to stop me from reading what all is written in Sushant's slides. So they are trying this behind the back gimmicks of maligning and calling the documents fake. I will just ask one question: if the documents I am sharing, okay, since the past 1 year now, almost 1 year, of Supreme Court, of Prime Minister, of Union Law Minister, of International Court of Justice, and now of Defense Minister and all, if all these are fake, do you honestly believe that I will be sitting here giving interviews? Do
Exactly.
you do you honestly believe that someone like ex-raw officer, I don't know what he's saying now behind my back, but he accepted in front of me when we both were in an interview on one show that my team did a great job on Sridevi. Okay, so one ex-raw officer and one present NCB head, Samir Wankade sir, they entertain me. Will they entertain me if I was someone a fraud who has been forging? Like now the people are trying to mislead people into believing that my documents that I am sharing since the past 1 year, tagging all the authorities whose documents they are claiming that I have forged. I have been tagging them as well. They are saying that they are forged. They are coming now and they are saying that they are forged. So I will just ask one question. Common man has a lot of common sense. Okay. If I have been forging such sensitive government documents of both nations, Dubai as well as India,
India. Yeah.
I'm tagging them as well. I'm tagging International Court of Justice as well. Okay. So do you think that is it such a small offense that all I get in return is trolling from people on social media?
Yeah.
So
True.
I leave it on to the people to decide, to use their own judgment. There is a lot of campaign to prove these drive contents fake, because a lot of big names are coming out and they have an image to keep, a protect. they have an image to protect. So they
Yeah.
will try always. They will try all sorts of pressure tactics. They will try all sort of maligning and all. Uh, it's okay, because if celebrities like Sushant and Sridevi have not been spared, मैं क्या चीज हूँ? Okay.
Yeah. But
So, but thank you. I'm thankful to you. I mean, to YouTubers like you, Bachchan ji, Mitra ji, and
Meena
our
ji.
Meena ji,
Yeah.
Sanya Raz. There are some YouTubers who actually have joined this movement, and they are actually opened their channels to give a platform to speak for Sushant,
Correct.
to keep the movement alive. You're actually doing that job. And seriously, I mean, I think you might also have been pressurized to, not entertain me or something. People have been going after my every tweet and putting negative comments. See, I will tell you only one thing. I am not asking you to blindly believe that these drives are real. Whatever I am sharing are real. Okay. But then keep an open mind. There can be three options. Okay. You don't believe that these are real. Okay. If you don't believe, ignore. You don't have to follow my shares, right? You can ignore. You don't have to follow each and every tweet and then come and dissect it and keep maligning me time and time again. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say you are very emotional about Sushant's movement, that you are unable to see someone spreading wrong information about his drives. Let us take that option into consideration as well. In this case, go and file a complaint. Since you believe that these are fake, and since you are so concerned that I am misleading Sushant's case, which is currently in court as well as under investigation. So I'm committing a serious offense, right? Go and file a complaint. Either go and file a complaint or ignore, or if you believe, just listen to it. Why this vicious campaign to not let people listen to what I have to say? So this in itself proves that a lot of people have a lot to hide.
Yes. True.
Okay. Yeah.
Well said. But
So that's yeah.
let me give a personal opinion. I even when I hear certain whatever that you say or anything is covered in the social media, I have my own common sense whether to believe it is true or not. Believe me, I believe whatever that been said here or shown here or exposed here. I believe it is true. Okay. First reason is, what do you get out of it? You're going through
Yes.
all this trouble. What are you getting out of it? There's
I'm
no
getting,
reason.
I'm getting, I'm getting tons and tons of names
Yeah.
and slangs and threats,
Yeah.
risks.
What exactly? Why would someone want to do that? You know. So of course, as what you said, they have something to hide, and probably there's a campaign out there to to make you look bad. But believe me, maybe 10% are doing it, but 90% out there who believe in the truth is actually believing in you. So don't worry. Deepti. In fact, whatever you do is a lot of work. It's you're also coming on social media to even read out those slides. It's a lot of work, and I know it's uh,
So people are not realizing one thing. This, whatever is come out, it itself is a miracle. I would say. I think Sushant's
yeah,
soul or something is guiding or something. I don't know. But I mean, after 1 year, his drive contents surfacing and coming in front of the people, it itself is a very big miracle. Okay, so we can say that some sign from God that this movement is not going to die down. So let us, if you are really concerned about justice for Sushant, justice for Disha, let us all be in it together rather than trying to malign each other, pull each other down. Some channels, what they are doing is that they are just, pulling other YouTubers down, pulling other people who are trying to, come on. The only agency which is answerable to you is CBI. You pay taxes, CBI is answerable to you, it is accountable to you. You can simply ask it one question, contact them. You are suggesting me, right? You can contact CBI, it's very easy to approach. They will never. So come on, contact them and say there's a female called Deepti who is claiming that she has the drives of Sushant and she's spreading the information. Kindly acknowledge and it if it is true, because it has a lot of evidence regarding his murder as well. And if it is not true, kindly take action against her for misleading people when the case is under investigation. Right?
yeah,
This is one
correct,
simple thing people can do, right?
exactly, true.
Yeah.
So why waste the time and troll? If you think it's something that you don't believe, then file the report. It's just that they can't do anything. The only thing they can do is,
No,
you
the
know.
extent, no, Bachchanji, the extent to which these people have gone is create fake chats, fake accounts on my name,
Mm. Oh, okay.
circulate it on
Mm.
Twitter, and then come and ask me, why did you do this? I mean, what was, of course, though it has been proved that the accounts were not mine and those were fraudulent chats, but all this sort of gimmicks are happening on social media.
Okay. Okay.
Obviously, a lot of people have, I mean, are obviously having a lot of troubles, right? With the
Yeah.
contents of the drives, with the names that are getting
Yes.
exposed in the drives.
Exactly. But
Okay.
but whatever content in the drive, I mean, whichever that I'm reading, I strongly believe it's happening. If not, those content won't be there.
See, it's high
So
time it has to happen now. What
yeah.
Sushant wanted. I will read one slide wherein he has spoken what we have to do now, and that is the need of the hour. Okay, Bachanji.
Okay.
So I will start reading then if there are no more
Can.
questions. I am,
Can.
yeah, okay. Uh, so I'll start. There has been a lot of foul that has been played with me. And I can say one thing after being in between these people is that these people can go to any extent to get their jobs done. And now let me reveal some names on whom you should keep your eye on. And you should be more than watchful, as when you start working on these people, will somehow find their way to you and make sure that they start getting close to you because a lot of masks will fall. And these masks falling means that you are in the position where you can write the future of each of these names I mentioned below. So until you finish this whole drive, don't act or react to anything. Most importantly, keep these informations only to yourself and don't even share a word from this to your shadow too. What Ankita did, I got over it. Sarah never really happened. Thank God. My eyes opened even before something like a friendship could even develop. But frankly speaking, she was just a co star. But yes, I had slowly begun to trust her as a good friend. And let me make it clear just friend. But Ria, now I begin to get a strong gut feeling, is also not true and straight. I have to, from now on, take my own precautions because not a single person is completely trustworthy. And my journey has shown me a lot of faces like Vijay Raj, within brackets, Kaka Biryani. Now, the Mr. X mentioned in my slides earlier. The Mr. X number one is late Bal Thackeray, the man who buried Divya Bharti case for INR 5 crore in those days. The Mr. X number two is Jagmohan Dalmia, the man who always had vested interests. The entire episode of the entry of South Africa back into the cricket world I have explained revolves around this man and why Sharad Pawar came into cricket too rotates here. Some more exposures to be made on this cricket issue. I will get back to it later, as and when I proceed. The Power Baby and the connections too that are going on now sound a little fishy, but I don't want to comment anything till I reach the roots of it. The Mr. X number three, the man who is probably, I would say, fill in the blanks for description, Dr. Subramanyam Swamy. The Thakkar scam and the connections around it, and how this man manipulated so many facts around it, and also ensured that without anyone getting a single doubt about a single instance, has been quite successful over the years to manipulate a lot of cases, a lot of informations, and has always been able to do most of the damage and yet act naive. If God gives me this one opportunity that He will spare me for one mistake, I would do. I would want to first take one huge stone and put it on this man's head, but not kill him. This man literally is a parasite who has been sucking out heavily from everyone. People who trusted him too, people who betrayed him too. Not just this. Dr. Swami is also the, how do I put it? If someone were to construct a college for blackmailing, Dr. Swami would be the chairman of the college. The Mr. X number 4, the Shanshaw of Bollywood, another man with strong links in the politics of India. And the story of Aladdin Kachirag, which I mentioned earlier, is around Amar Singh and Amitabh Bachchan. How could they both team up, and also the dirty game of politics, which was played with Doordarshan, where the Dalmia Pawar duo played a major role too. The Mr. X number 5 is Bill Gates, and that interview where he mentions about the fact that we are not prepared for a pandemic which will rise. Along with China, if someone has to be stripped and prosecuted for this COVID virus, which has ruined everyone, then it has to be this man, Bill Gates. When I was in CERN, the discussions I had and a few people I had met told me about this. Initially, when the discussion started, I thought it was jealousy or some other agenda of theirs, which Ria was continuously telling me to be aware of. That why would they talk about all this to a person who is not in any ways connected to anything whatsoever to the subject of the issue that was being discussed? Wish I would apply my brains then and there and could have done something around it. But even now, when I go back and think about it, I feel any normal human being with normal intellect or extraordinary intellect for that matter too would conclude that a successful person has enemies, and these enemies are bitching behind his back. This chapter is a huge one, and this is one of the main reasons I am now working on the app where COVID 19 can be tested. Please understand that I am not spreading any theory here from my own pocket, but these are some dirty facts, and some big names are involved in this. The only reason I am taking time to get to the point where I can discuss all this freely is the devil can come into you anytime. The names that I have taken till now, and one more person who can actually give you complete information around this is Asif Bhai. And the reason I picked Asif Bhai amongst the lot of people I have is because he maintains a very low profile. Once the COVID actually happened, I got in touch with these people and some more people whom I shall tell in detail with their detailed designations, and one team of us started working on this. This COVID 19 is a huge controversy from the New World Order and some other organizations which work in the dark to ensure that the common man doesn't rise to that extent wherein he can use his intellect and see through the agenda of various governments. So many big names are involved in this one topic that I am doing a lot of research on can actually shake humanity from its roots. But how do we get it out? What do we do to get it out? And whom do we approach with this? My humble request to you, with both my hands folded, is not to open up about this even for a second to anyone, or not to start working on this chapter till you are done completely reading this. This chapter holds a lot of secrets, and the only reason I am writing such an huge explanation even before starting the content table is because this chapter is the chapter that is going to help you hit the final name in the coffin. The Mr. X number 6 is Anil Musrat, and the five chelas are Swami Priyamji, Devendra Fadnavis, Suresh Oberoi, Aditya Thackeray, Arjun Rampal, and Akshay Kumar. Don't think I have just named one ex-CM here and I am running an agenda. But the fact is that there are other people too involved with this sixth Mr. X. And I shall give a detailed explanation on the same in the slides to follow. All the names now I feel I will take it out in the open. And when this slide ends, you will find all the links and connections which will take you to the proofs for the words I have spoken. Bachanji, here I would like to add something. I want to say, make it clear, these
Okay.
are not my words. I am not uh, I'm not, what do you say, validating the information that is mentioned in these drives. These drives belong to Sushant Singh Rajput. These are his research and findings which he has mentioned. So I am just reading what is, I'm just sharing what Sushant has worked on with the people. I'm not
Okay.
saying all this is true. I'm not saying all this is false. I just wanted to make sure these are not my opinions, as I state in my disclaimer.
Okay.
The Mr. X number 7 is Ajit Pawar. He is the real problem maker and the person who can be referred to here as the power broker or the dalal. There have been instances where where this person has been the sole reason when a lot of activities that happened around the past 3 years connected instantly. And yes, if we talk about the damage done because of these instances, then I don't have words to say how do we document it. Now, here again, the doubts which my mind keeps throwing on me gets more and more intense. And yes, I need to say that I sometimes be a little harsh on myself. But that barrier, that check is very much needed. Shauvik once again created blunder today. And when I wanted to deal harsh with him, my people voice out saying that I am overthinking. My people here means I know I will have to sit back and laugh on myself. But still, what is a fact? And this thing needs to be documented as I feel it is necessary. As this chain of thoughts can actually come on to you as well. And this can help you relate that sometimes when you think what you think is perfectly normal, but yes, you should not be off the guard and take things for granted. So, my people here, when I speak, are as follows: Indrajit Chakravarti. This man has always been there on the needle of my radar. Also, I have my own doubts around him. To speak more about him, I definitely will. But before that, let me give you those 10 questions which strike my mind, and then my analysis which made me doubt. You might feel while reading this that after so many great reveals made, why am I giving importance to a man like this person? But yes, let me make one point very clear here, which shall be of great help to you as well, because this is one of the biggest mistake I myself made too. No one is small, no one is big in this dirty game of this cabal. Sometimes you might think that this person does not have any hold on the society. And why do I need to work around it? Here you are mistaken. One thing, you need to have it planted and rooted deep in your mind, because a lot of the people in this entire setup who really do the damage maintain such a low profile that you cannot actually have any doubts on them. And moreover, when it comes to the background interactions you do around these people, you will actually find that they seem perfectly normal people and are not that big when compared to some big names that actually come up. Let's discuss first on Indrajit uncle and then proceed further with the other chain of connections I have made. Understanding every word that I have written here is the major key to the sequence of events. And every slide that I pen down here is very important. If you feel that I am repeating it over and over again, let me tell you, these incidents that I am going to mention in this particular drive is the main reason I started documenting my work in this fashion. Where tomorrow, even if I decide I want to make a change or do some random edit in these files, I should not be able to do. Often, what happens is that when the thought comes to you, or when one incident happens in your life, you should actually practice to make instant notes of it and make sure that you keep these notes with you forever. Because anytime in life you feel you are lost or need any kind of guidance, these notes you have made on your life and the mistakes you have made can be your best guide. You should by now be well prepared to do some real work around these efforts of mine, but still would say you are not ready for it. As the biggest thing you need to remember is that you need to have your agenda planned in such a way that your thought process is perfect, your plans are accurate, and your observation is like that eagle which is hunting for food. As the most important thing you need to understand is that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And this comes true in most of the cases. But yes, what we need to understand and dwell within ourselves is that we need to be prepared for anything that comes up to us and be actually having that set mindset to take anything that comes onto us on its face value. And just considering that instant where it came on to you will not work out. But before making a decision, you need to have that quick brush of thoughts run through you, where all your permutations and combinations happen. Else, there is no real reason for you to dwell along in this journey. Because from here onwards, I request you to practice meditation or any power exercise to your brain. Because having that sharp brain, which can actually give you 10 scenarios to one incident, is very much needed, and you need to actually be prepared for it, as this is how it is going to be when it comes to this battle. And the point to consider here is that you will never know what is in store for you the next minute. But yes, one thing which I can vouch for is that till the time you believe in yourself and have that in you by default, then no problem can pull you down till you actually let it to, then you are all set to fight the biggest battle in your life. Now, I will make a quick introduction around why I am writing about this person in detail. This man, since the time I have known him, since the time I have spoken to him, has given me strong negative vibes. And some topics of discussions we had make me doubt that whether this man really is an officer of the army. Because if he is, how can he be talking like this? For him, he says, when your career is in such an industry where you have to do a favor in return for a favor or opportunity, you should not step back. Seriously, is this what a father should would tell his daughter? Seriously, is this what a father would tell his daughter, or rather, an elderly person in the family tell the younger generation? One instance here before I go on to the next set of questions I have to make mention about is I had it from the devil's mouth himself. When the casting for the movie Jalebi was on, Ria was in confusion whether to sign the role or not. But it was this man who actually convinced his own daughter to take up the role. My connections to this girl was always there, but then we never used to actually talk about our work back then. This might look normal when you take this by face value, but the deeper story is very different. The words of the man, I don't know what is he made of, and what actually is whatever you want to conclude. I don't have the right set of words to describe this here, and I don't want to feed my thought process onto you here, because this can be crash course to you right here on the emphasis I made, wherein I was speaking around the exercises you need to give your brain. My take on this is no normal father would feel comfortable discussing such sensitive topics with his daughter, and that sums up my initial set of questions on this man. After having served the nation, you don't have any respect to the people who are serving. You say you took up retirement to actually shape up the career of your daughter and help her pursue her dreams in acting. You have no respect for the Indian flag? Seriously? Count. Only 5 questions so far. Seriously was my brain's question to me. God damn. This is a weird incident, but the mention needs to be made. After a cozy dinner with the family, we were walk- after a cozy night dinner with the family, we were walking out of the place where to this man accidentally stepped on our tricolor, which I am not sure which idiot had thrown on the road. My heart wept on the spot, but there was no change of expression on this man's face. Forget about bending down to pick and clean it. The man walks ahead as if he has stepped up on a piece of paper. And if you think he might have not seen it, I picked it up and told him that you might have accidentally stepped on the Indian flag. The response I get, I was lost for words. The man says, when you walk on the roads, you need to focus on the roads, son. And you should not pick things that have fallen down. I mean, how do I conclude anything around this? For the character of a man who was a lieutenant colonel in the army? I mean, seriously? Sick. When we get back home, I didn't make a mention of this incident to anyone. But the next morning, the man walks up to me and says, son, don't take these matters seriously. And yes, indeed, I am sorry. I was a little too drunk yesterday night, and I was not in the right frame of mind too. Too many thoughts were flowing in my mind, and I was not sure as to what exactly was happening around me. I have immense respect for our nation and our flag. It was just a mistake in the fit of the moment. This explanation to the mistake made was that actually needed what was tried to be fed on to me, within brackets, thought process, I mean. What is more confusing is that the body language. I never like people who do drugs or are addicted to intoxication. But surgically ये तो सब चलता है. Even to the extent when co-stars interact with each other, Indrajit used to actively participate, involve, I mean. I have not told this to Ria yet, but I will soon, when the right time comes. Now the question, why have two faces? Kindly remember you have to finish this drive completely before you go ahead and take any actions, because this drive needs to be understood to every word of it. And only then you will be in a position where you can take the right decision. I'm not even started the real matter. I am to speak here. Ah, anything you want to say, Bachchanji, so that I can get a couple of minutes gap before I can proceed?
Yeah, it's not easy because I'm watching you when you're reading. It's not easy because you're reading quite a bit of slides.
No,
Um,
I'm clear. I mean, I'm sounding clear.
yeah. You're clear. You're clear. There's there was a bit frozen, but the audio went clear all the way. A little bit here and there, but otherwise it's okay. Yeah, so crystal clear. Yeah, but yeah, okay, go on. But let me
You want
just
to?
yeah, I just want whatever that you're reading now. I actually read it, and like what you said, we are not trying to say that this is true or false, but the part of seeing the flag on the
No, no,
road
no.
and it just stepping on it is
Already, see, already people are, I mean, trying to say that I am defaming the government, I am defaming the agencies, I am maligning everyone. That is not my intention at all. I am just trying to get justice for Sridevi ji, and there's something I have come across accidentally of Sushant's, which will help, unravel his, death investigations and
yeah.
all.
Mhm.
So since even after trying twice to meet Nupur Prasad ji and hand it over to her, if I couldn't during the lockdown, and so I am sharing it with the public because I believe that everyone needs to know. I mean, the public, which has been the support, which has kept the fight for Sushant alive, it needs to know how great Sushant was, what big sacrifice he made for us, for the future generations, for the sake
Yeah,
of humanity.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even before Sushant, Sridevi ji too sacrificed her life trying to expose the wrongs. No one knows about it. Divya Bhati, no one knows about it. We are coming to know through Sushant's drives. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, yes. So, and around Sushant's death, there have been some 14 to 16 deaths as well. Some of the names have actually come out, have been mentioned in the slides as having helped Sushant do the research into the crime nexus.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
So I'll
He
continue with the
even
reading.
suspected those people. Something may happen to those people who was actually helping him, and what he was afraid of actually happened to.
Yes, unfortunately. So I mean, these are some important facts because the investigation is still on, right?
Mm.
And these are some very important pointers and proofs actually. Uh, I hope the agencies take notice soon and get working on it. Anyway, I will continue with the slides, Bachanji.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So where was I? 8. Because I have said earlier, once you complete this drive, you shall a lot more ideas, a lot more directions, a lot more dimensions, and a strong potential path which can actually aid you in the path you might have chosen. Or if you have not, then this might help you to start things in a positive manner. When something as serious as an question mark on your daughter's character comes to you, you remain silent. Somewhere from someone outside is understood, but your own wife telling you this, and you say, "ये सब चलता रहता है. Let her live her life. She is trying to live her dream." You don't feel it right that you need to ask a question, at least for the sake of it, within brackets, 9 so far, at least for the sake of it, my question to my brain. And the biggest question as to why this man has always been the center of my doubt is his thought process. Perfectly okay to be a family man and have a neutral stand on things. But when issues like Fulwama and other topics of national concern comes, Sarji says, why should we spoil our brains around it? Isn't the government there to take care of it? You mean seriously? You are saying this? Let me make one point very clear here that is this are my observations, and these observations you might feel is not important. But this man Indrajit is definitely involved and is not clean. As I will explain in detail, what exactly are the instances where this man comes into the picture? And my only worry is how do I pass this information on to Ria and make her realize that she is being played with her emotions are taken for a ride. The following spots now need to be spoken about, and what are the importance of these spots, I will explain in the next slide. But before getting to the spots and discussing on them, let me tell you one thing. If you don't want to take this topic of the spots up, you can ignore it totally because this is not that important when compared to the work on hand. But the thing that the substance of the entire subject revolves around this, and I feel a quick read will add to your dimensions, and you can have a better flow of thoughts in your mind and can actually have angles to decide when you make a decision. I speak for myself here. If I was in your place and was to make this decision, which I once was when I met the legendary Dev Anand on Divyaji's case, I would definitely have read on the spots. But yet again, science says no two brains work the same. So you are your own judge. You can take the call. What you want to do, if you want to take it from me, you should go for it. If you don't, these spots you can ignore and proceed without reading them. But for me, these are important. So I am going to go ahead and use the same encryptions I have used on the rest of my work because these spots actually gave me the neutral stand from where every vision opened up to me. And I was in a much better situation to take stock of things. But again, that is my style of work. Yours can be different, and I respect it. But again, when things like this happen, it is very, very important that we ensure we take a quick break and spend some time around ourselves. This is it for now. In this slide, as an individual, I would say it's important you think, analyze, and apply. So then I'll skip some slides, Bachanji,
Okay, okay,
because I cannot share everything as it is because it might endanger some lives who might have been innocents, who might have helped
okay,
Sushant at some stage or the other.
okay,
So
okay,
I'm not sharing the information which I feel will risk people's lives. So yeah, here I will share something about his project, his
okay,
artificial intelligence project, AI project. Okay,
okay,
because this project is my dream. Yeah, because this project is my dream wherein a lot of illegal activities happening can be caught. A lot of other factors where manpower is needed can be replaced by AI, and the matter can easily be settled. Moreover, there is so many things that happen in the society today where there is the real need of some kind of interference where the criminals can be caught and taken to task. But most of the times they escape because our methods are not up to the mark. Here we need to understand one thing. The fact is that we all have one thing common in our minds that these things are not that important when an entire scenario is studied. But often it so happens that these are the most important things that come in consideration when the issue on hand is to be discussed because often these crimes don't look important, but these are serious issues and are very, very important. The only thing as a human being we tend to forget is that the base holds the key to the entire subject, and that's what this project will do. It will ensure that we have a strong base created wherein we can always ensure that we will have AI do a lot of progress on this. And this project will just be the kickstart. Once this comes into action, most investigations and raids can get you answers on your fingertips. And not just that, I have prepared it in such a way that not just investigations, this project is super user friendly and can be used by anyone and everyone. What is most important here is the application of this project and the monitoring too, which is very, very important. Once this is ready, I can give a straightforward guarantee that this project will be very, very useful and handy when certain important tasks are to be executed. And anyone can use the project both commercially and personally. All these home locking systems and other aspects around security too can be handled using this project. But please, as I have been cheated out of my idea more than once, and the only way to get to the project completion is, as I have discussed in the earlier slide, we need to be very careful to ensure no one knows what work is going on till the project is actually complete. And once this is and one and once this is done, there is no looking back. First preference should be given to someone who can use this wisely. And this can also fetch me my world record, and my name shall be inscribed on the record books. That is, if you consider me worthy to be given credit. With all said and done, let me go ahead and say this now. From the next slide onwards, I am about to begin the real chapter for which this entire slide was created. As I have said, please, please, please read the entire slide first before you want to take any action, because each word written here is a totally different context, and yet it is very important that you understand how do we proceed. Okay. He left some 2.5 lines black here and says, purposely leaving 2.5 lines blank here because this I will explain in the last slide. As I know, anyone's blood would boil, and if while reading this, your instinct makes you do what I did, then these 2 lines will be your savior. Okay. All right. Because unless the 2 blank lines and the real thing around it is known, you will not be able to do the complete damage. And moreover, if your instinct forces you to do it, these 2 lines that I have missed holds a complete chapter with all the documents and the videos too, which will only open once you are done reading these 2 lines and the chapter attached to it. See, what has happened with me should not happen to anyone else. And here I would like to make one statement to you so that you are clear in your mind that what my take is, and what I want to say, and why I am doing this. Along with this, let me make one point straightforward so that we both are on the same page. After reading all my work and reaching here, you might for a while feel or get an impression that I am going through depression. But one thing that I would like to say is that the only opinion I have about myself is that I don't have an opinion. I am not that weak for my problems to get the better of me, because from a very young age, what I was taught by my mom and what life has taught me is that fire burns inside you, or the fire can burn you too. If I put it in Hindi and then translate it into English, I think I will be able to explain this better, because reading these blind articles makes me to laugh, but laugh out loud, that how small can people's thought process be, both the ones who write this and the ones who read it and believe it is true. Fire burns inside you, fire can burn you too. अग्नि अपने अंदर जलाओ, आग दुनिया जलाती है, मुश्किल भरा सफर सही राह दिखाती है, सही राह दिखाती है. Control your anxiety and make it the fire that burns in you and helps you overcome any challenge life throws on you. Channelize your thoughts and make your mind constructive, because the stones on your journey don't pull you back. They just prepare you and train you towards the right path in life. This pain and hardships are necessary for you to grow, because unless you earn it, you will never enjoy it. So, if by any chance, while reading through the lines, you feel I am depressed writing all this, let me give a loud shout out that I am not depressed, but yes, I am worried. and sorry at the situation that is going on in the society, the impact it will have, and the negative aspects it can generate. It is very easy to go with the flow, but to swim against the tide, you need to have it in you. I have it in me. I will fight myself out of this situation. But the only concern is, why does human being give into temptation? Okay. So, Bachant, you would like to say something?
Yeah, I mean, before these slides, I mean, before reading these slides, we all, when Sushan was actually killed, we all were thinking, how come Sushan can actually trust the people around him, his flatmates, his girlfriends, or his friends, or people in Bollywood or whatever. But now and then I realize, I mean, just let's put aside whether analyzing the content is right or wrong, but looking at what is written, they're assuming it is right. I think he's well aware what was happening around him, every bit of it.
See, see, Bachchanji, these slides are written over a period of time, probably from 2017 or 2018 till we don't know how long before his death. Okay, I too haven't decoded the entire material of the 8 drives. It's a time-consuming process. It's the work is going on. We are facing many challenges as well. As I said, that there are other copies also out there.
Mm.
Okay, and Sushant has prepared it in such a way that he has designed the interface in such a way that I can't give the details, but he is a genius to have programmed it. He made sure that if the information falls into someone's hands, then it doesn't fall into anyone's hands so easily, unless and until they
Okay.
actually work for it.
So he knew that will, I mean, he very high chances that is coming lah. So he actually pre-planned a lot of things way ahead, I guess. And of course, he know what he's exposing and know what's can come out of it.
See
Which is
here, when I read in the slide, he had his doubts on Riya Chakravarti's father, and he was
yeah,
thinking that Riya was innocent. Okay, and he was thinking that Riya was innocent, and how to break this news out to her. But
yeah,
then again, I have also shared slides recently, wherein he clearly says he realizes that it is because of Riya Chakravarti that the entire thing has gone wrong.
mm.
Okay, I
Was
have
it
shared.
was you have shared, is it? I do know one of the part that he said that he actually sort of suspected her movement was a bit different, so he suspected
I
something
already
is
see.
wrong.
Today also I read the slide in that mention is there that Riya is
Hmm.
not true. Okay, so I read that today as well. So he's what I am reading is a journey, and I am not reading in order. Okay, earlier I covered
Yeah.
some, and now I'm covering some other drives. So it's not going in order. Okay,
Mm.
but one thing we should understand that it's a journey. Earlier he thought he might have had good impression on some people. Later he might have realized their true colors. So let us first finish reading the entire journey or whatever he has had to say before actually jumping to assumptions as to, like, I mean, how could he do? Let us first go through what journey he has gone through. That is what I have to tell to people. Okay, because once he is in confusion. He was in confusion between regarding Sarah's innocence. Earlier we
Mm.
had covered that slide. So it's a journey. It is very much relatable, right? When you meet
Yeah.
people around you, and so it's kind of it's a journey, right?
Mm. Correct. In fact, Dipti, when the part when he spoke about the father, Indrajit Chakravarti, he didn't had a clue anything about Riya. So which sort of explains why along the way, by the time he discovered that
It was
something is
too
wrong
late.
with her, too late. He may have revealed
It
quite
was
a
too
bit
late.
to her, and through her, the whole thing may have collapsed. I guess.
So that's what, see, even in Sridevi is dead, Divya Bharati is dead, Jia Khan's dead. It was the close people.
Yeah. Sadly.
Some stranger or someone didn't come and kill them. It
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
the close people. It was the people around them who were responsible,
The enemy
right?
was just sitting beside them.
Yeah. So otherwise, I mean, a person like Sushant, who has just see his intellect, the way he has documented everything, and and if anyone, I mean, with tech background, I mean, it's this, his kind of, it's very difficult to crack through each and every file. So it is a time, it is taking time, and we are facing many challenges as well. So it's okay. Uh, but yes, we will know exactly why it was so important for him to be silenced.
Mm,
Okay.
correct.
So I will read that. It's already close to 1 hour, so I will read this. Just kindly give me a couple of minutes.
Okay,
Uh,
can
I
sure.
will read. Yeah, I will read a couple of more slides regarding Sridevi ji's death and which
Yes,
Sushant
yes,
had written. Yeah.
yes. I'm waiting for that too. Yeah. Okay, for those who are watching, I do know you all are asking some questions here. There's one person who mentioned that why is DTG looking in the room as if there's someone in the room? Who is this? Maya Swami. That's because she's reading the slides on top. So she's going, running through the slides. I believe it's on the screen. So that's why she's moving ahead here and there. Okay. Um, one thing I wanted to say is share is actually when I read those. Okay, DPG is here, so let's let her continue first. Yes, DPG.
Then please continue. You please
No, no,
finish
I
what you're
want.
saying, Bachant.
No, I wanted to share the same thing which I mentioned earlier. You see, when I'm covering justice for, I mean, when I spoke about Sushant, in fact, this channel started aggressively, is mainly of Sushant, Sushant, Sushant. Then I came to know you. Then I covered Sri Devi, but I feel this person, this beautiful person, Sushan, anybody would know that if he's not bending for whatever bad things that's happening there, he could have just kept quiet and not get involved and look, leave me alone. I'm not do not want to be part of it. He can move on with his life. But he did not stop there, you know. He went, he took the big risk of putting his life at stake. He went to find out a lot of things. He you know, he coded it and then
He
he want the world to know. That's
see
yeah, that's amazing.
he was a he was a concerned citizen. He
Yes,
was a
yes,
good human being and a concerned citizen, and that is how every one of us should be.
yes.
I
Just
mean,
that
he
some people
made us
just can't stand
realize
it, you know.
how wrong we are, how wrong we are going.
Yeah. In fact, Ditiji, I mean, even through this diary or even through Sushant's case, there's a lot of awareness created. Now people know a lot of things that's happening around there, including myself. What's going wrong, what's going right, and all that.
Yeah.
Yes, please continue. Yeah, please continue.
Okay. So here, introduction. Before I start speaking in detail on this chapter, one thing I need to make a mention here is about late Bollywood actress Sridevi ji and her efforts in trying to expose these people and how much pain she had to undergo in this process. This story of a warrior who was let down by her own people will be stand-in example of how people suffer when they don't find solace in their near and dear ones. Shame on our society that people, those who are truthful, are always tortured. If you are a commoner, then both the authority and your family. If you are a celebrity and a public figure, then your family. The things that I am going to disclose in the slides to follow might shake your belief system, but trust me, this is the hard reality. This can answer a lot of questions around so many assumptions that are made around the life of certain real stars who were not just on screen stars but were the real role models off screen too, which a lot of youngsters can look up to. When I started this journey, I used to see Sridevi ji in some places and think, is this the real face of this woman? She is so graceful and she is involved in all this. But thank God, I was proven wrong. She was also fighting a war against these people. She too was trying to find for ways how to get to the roots of this syndicate, how to stop this cabal from doing what they were. And she was one strong warrior who was always having the right intention. I would say, I would clearly like to mention here right intention because initially I had confusion, but later as the research progressed, I got to know from one very trusted source who helped me a lot as well that she was doing this for her daughters. She had informed the agencies about her husband too. But when he came out clean and cried to mend his ways, she went silent on him, but decided to expose the others. And that is the real Sridevi for you. The mom who wanted not just her daughters, but wanted everyone safe, but gave a chance to her husband, because in her own words, she told me, if Bonnie comes out clean in front of me, this can be fought much better. And if one person has to be excused for the change he can go through, and if that change can do good to the society, is that not a small price I pay? These were exact words to me, was what I heard that trusted source tell me. I was perplexed to hear this, and the respect me and my team had for Sridevi ji grew countless folds that day. A woman who had taken a break from everything comes back into the hang of things and throws all caution to winds. Why? Just because she feels it's her social responsibility to stay true to herself and the nation. This was the quality of Sridevi. I so wanted to connect to her, but unfortunately, she was put to rest on 24th of February 2018. I was shattered, and I have mentioned about the Producers Guild meeting that was held in detail. I decided we need to continue from where Sridevi ji stopped, and in that attempt to get some answers to my questions, what I tried to meet a lot of people. No one actually was even interested to talk about it, apart from three people. Let me go ahead with one source version first, which answered a lot of my confusions and questions as well before I get to the rest. And from there, I leave it on to you the reason why I didn't come out in front of the people or on social media. In the words of this source, when I asked about Sridevi, when Sridevi wanted to come out in the open and tell all this to the public, three things happened. And these three things shook her to the core. And she dropped the idea when she was discussing it out to Boni Kapoor. Boni told her not to cross her limits. And when she didn't listen to it, and that's when the emotional game started from Boni. I can now call it an emotional game because I know it for a fact that Boni Kapoor is involved in Sridevi's death. Sridevi didn't give in to the emotional game, and then the real dirty game, wherein she was blackmailed and told that if she goes out in the media, she can go. But then she should be prepared to spend the rest of her life in the mental hospital. Because if she goes ahead to expose these people and say anything about what she knew about them to anyone, then they will use all their strength to prove her as a mentally unstable person who is assuming and hallucinating into believing things that her brain wants to show her, which has no connections to reality. She didn't break down. Then Bonnie took the help from authority. Her phone was taken into Boni's control, and not just this, even Sridevi's social media account, Boni took total control on it. And yes, she was left into isolation. And yes, her entire life was taken into control. I am sorry to say this, but now I feel is that she wanted to speak the truth, and everyone around her made sure she went into isolation and couldn't do anything and everything. Literally, everything which could get her connected to society was in the control of her husband. And this is why I feel she could never open up to the world. This is one thing which stopped her from coming out in the open. After I heard this, the first person who stuck in my mind is Ria. And this is where my eyes opened and I could connect and see through a lot of things which was done to me, which this source explained. I could connect to so many things which Ria and Ankita did to me. This girl did a lot to me, and because of her, a lot different angles opened up in front of my eyes. So the biggest answer which kept haunting me for such long, the answer is as simple as this. The analysis where I explained how these people take control of your personal life. If it goes out of control, then they can hijack your personal space too. I feel so rogue and angry. After that, I think it's mentioned in the. Do you want me to continue from there as well? Bachchan, can you hear me?
Sorry, I unmute myself so when I'm speaking, you can't hear me. Yes, I want you to speak, read more on Sri Devi.
That Sridevi bit is done. One last slide I will just read, wherein after coming to know about how Sridevi was, so disconnected from the world by the people around her, he then realizes that he was actually in the same situation.
Yes, okay.
He then begins to get many answers. So I will continue from there. Just give me a couple of minutes. I have to search for it. Okay.
Okay, can, sure. Okay, I think y'all would have heard Deepti ji reading Sri Devi's slides. It's up in her Twitter too. It's really sad how her life has been controlled. Um, Scary, isn't it? Because I didn't know this part of it. I did cover Sri Devi's story through Deepti ji, but the part that she was being controlled, her movement and everything, including her social media, including her phone. Can you imagine? Her phone is not even is under the control of her husband. That's pretty scary. And yes, Deepti ji is when she read the part that Sushant, it is then that he realized what was happening to him and what Ria was doing to him. So, in fact, this isn't the content, but when Sushant was killed, when he was going through all the news, we all felt the same that he was actually being controlled by her. Yeah, but it is sad. So, let me just highlight some messages here. Mitra, hi, Mitra, how are you? So, Mitra, I want to, yes, Dipti ji, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your screen is
Bachchan, can
frozen.
you hear me?
Ah, yes, can.
Yeah. Okay.
Gonji, Gonji.
So, so this is the last slide I will read for today. Okay. Then
Okay,
we will end this session after a brief
can,
discussion.
sure,
Okay.
can.
Sure. So after getting answers from this source, one thought instantly struck my mind. That was the connections I could make on how these missing angles in my life are now seeming to be the replay of what happened in Srideviji's. Let me go at it stepwise so that you exactly get an idea what is running in my mind. Number one, Sandeep taking a break. Sandeep Singh, who was always behind me like a magnet, takes a break. And this makes me a little open. That gets the entry of Shruti and others. Number two, Shavik behaving weird. When this man starts behaving weird, I am confused and ask Priya what to do. She tells me some things and makes me go silent. Till date, I was confused about it. Now the picture is totally clear. 3. Sandeep Nahar's backlash. Sandeep coming hard on me and asking me to use my intellect. Now I see the entire thing and can read through his anger as to what it meant. Why was he entertaining Shruti on Riya's words? What is it that this female is back again? He asked me so many questions. I was confused. Why was this man wild at me? Now, after meeting this source, it's clear what is the thing. And now I see what was the intent. 4. Ria changing all my stuff. I thought this was need. Now I see this as how Boni Kapoor did to Sridevi ji. 5. Siddharth poisoning my mind. Yes, this person who was always like a tail, feeding me on nonsense and trying to patch up for Ankit. You did this to him, you did that to him, and look what he has done. When I asked what, I was not given a proper answer. And I was made to believe letting him go was the best option. And I did the same. But now, when things unfolded in front of me today, when I spoke to this source, I still am in confusion whom to believe, whom not to. But I will myself find my answers soon. So there is nothing much I can do about it now, but soon I will find out on all these angles. 6. Ria taking me to Mahesh Bhatt. Now, this is the biggest question why she did this, and yes, the hidden agenda behind it. And that one meeting after which I was told they never got back. Mahesh Bhatt and his contacts he shared. But yes, I am still hoping something comes out from here, just to give them the impression that the game they are playing, I am being played for. For me, it becomes even the more important now to have a right set of team which none of these people who are with me now will be knowing. Now I shall ensure I will not give complete information to anyone, but only some very select people from now on, and this shall be done just to see who will be with me and who will not.
Is that all?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's. Eh, I've covered a lot
Yeah,
for
yeah,
today.
yeah, you did, yeah. In fact, to be very frank, I wanted to read it live, but I realized when you read it, it carries more weight. So that's why I wanted to call you on to share this with us, DPG, because I know it's not an easy job. You know, you reading through all the slides. Not only you have discovered it, you put it up on your Twitter account. Now you actually go on social media. Not only my channel, other channels. You're actually reading the slides. So I have to thank you for that, DPG. Seriously, when you did Sri Devi's case, a lot of people asked you, why can't you help Sushant? And we are very thankful today that you're revealing this information. And uh, very very happy and very very glad, and I would say this is karma. Thank God it actually fall into your hand. Imagine someone else would have got it. They probably would have sold it for some tons of money. Yes, the information that you're sharing is actually cost a lot of money, but you are fighting for the truth. So God bless you, and really seriously. And yes.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, what will you do taking so much money? Where will you? I mean, like, if people around you are not happy, I mean, I don't understand the mindset of these people. I mean, doing these crimes just for money. Everything from
Yeah.
organ trafficking to children trafficking to
Yeah.
women trafficking. I mean, they don't stop at anything. So I don't
Yes.
understand that mindset. So I mean, that has to change. Actually, that is not something human,
Yeah. Correct.
and we should not be
But
okay with it.
people who
Firstly, we
fight for
should
the
be
truth.
aware of what actually is.
Go on, man. See, continue.
See, firstly, we should all be aware of what actually is happening, because there's a lot of misinformation around media and everything. They often, may keep us indulged in some pretty issues of, they divide us more than doing anything constructive. And also, most of the mainstream media, it is owned by huge corporates or some one with political background. So they have their own agenda to carry. So what is happening is that in all this, the biggest casualty is truth. The people stay divided. Some say this is true, some say that is true. There are many different platforms, many alternate routes coming in. And so here, what people have to use the judgment, see what is true, what is not. We have to come together. Sushant has sacrificed his life for this. Sridevi ji has sacrificed her life for this. So many others have sacrificed their lives, to change this. It is for us. If we are saying justice for Sushant, it means justice for us, our future, our kids, justice for
Yes.
humanity. We have to stay together. And instead of questioning, people are trying to bring the truth forward, we should question the agencies as to why nothing is happening.
Yeah.
It's close to 1 year now,
Looking at
right?
the content of the diary, I can understand why it's not been closed till now. Whether it will be closed is another question. Uh, but the good part of it is actually we have social media now to expose a lot of things. Those days during Divya Bharati time, I believed it was just a suicide. I did not know there's so much of things behind her death. So thanks to social media, thanks to people like yourself, DPG, who actually speaks, fight for the truth, fight for the justice. We started with Sri Devi, but you're doing a lot of things right now. Do not be disheartened with those people who are actually, who are actually hassling you, who are coming after you. Those people are people who do not want the truth to be out. Probably they could be, people trying to hide something. So don't be disheartened. People who fight for the truth will support you very strongly. They are behind you.
Actually, yes. See, we have to be aware of it. Once we are aware of it, then everyone will, if the media was true, then this mass awakening could have happened long back. things wouldn't have come this bad. But now people are getting aware, right? Things have to change. So it,
Yeah,
agar if our authorities, agencies are not listening, then we should make them listen to us. We should not stay silent till we make them listen to us, right?
correct.
That is
Yes,
our duty as. See, there might be times when we have failed to prevent a crime from happening, but there should never be a time when we fail to protest.
now when you say the authorities, I really hope that because you see, now because of social media, those people who want to commit any crime in future will think 10 times compared to a time on Divya Bharati. After Sushant Singh, I think there's more exposed. A lot of things have been exposed. But yes, we are praying and hoping that the
A lot of marks have
authorities
fallen.
or the yeah or agencies who would have known whatever they're sharing, been spoken on social media, they know what have happened. But the only thing we're hoping that they will come out and expose the truth, so that injustice of such kind will not happen again.
It should not be tolerated anymore.
Yes, exactly.
Once we
Yes,
have come to know about it, it should not be tolerated.
yeah. When it's being tolerated, it pains. It pains. It gives us a lot of pain. Why such thing is happening? Why there's no justice. It also give us a lot of fear that tomorrow anything could happen to any
Exactly.
of us. Yeah.
So, I mean, honest and simple people have to live in fear.
Yes. Yes.
And people with no morals who can do anything for money, they continue to flourish and prosper. Is that the kind of society we want to live in?
Exactly.
That's
But the
toxic. That's
yeah,
toxic.
yeah, that is. There's another thing. When there's no justice given, even people who are good, because they are so fearful, they will fall into the trap and they will give in and they will do a lot of things which is
Exactly.
not. Yes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Bachanji. Even in the system, I mean, when we are saying that the corruption is everywhere, the nexus is everywhere, right from politicians to, the agencies and the corporates, terrorists, and underworld, Bollywood, sports, everything. It's everywhere. That doesn't mean that everyone is evil. It doesn't mean that. There are some people who are trapped. There are some who have, they are in a helpless situation because these people, when if you have gone through the slides uh,
Yeah.
clearly, uh, Sushant has mentioned that they use many ways to, trap you. First, either to honey trapping or,
Blackmailing.
trapping you in some kind of illegal money deal or something. Okay. So they hit
Yeah.
at the weakness of a person if they want to, take control of. So that's how they operate. Not everyone is evil. Most of them are trapped. So
Yes.
I'm sure
Exactly.
if there is a mass awakening, I'm sure people will join. I mean, I am receiving so much support. If I have come so far and I'm talking in front of you, some exposing some such big names. I mean, do you think that without some kind of support from people in the authorities, I'm not saying everyone is bad. I cannot take the names. I have the support. I have the backing. Some very big names have helped me. Okay. In the entire process, I have already taken the names. I don't want to repeat them now. Some games have been played, some betrayals have happened, but yes, we all have to get together.
Yeah. There's one particular slide I read. I think it's a mention of
Okay?
actor Govinda, where he actually Sushant
Yeah,
spoke to him.
Govinda, some Divyavati, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So,
do know
Bachanji,
there's a lot of
we will cover some.
yeah, yeah. Okay, Ken. I'm being carried away with this. Yes, so thank you so much for sharing and reading the slides. Continue fighting for justice, and you're a courageous woman. I will pray to God, especially for you, every single day for your safety, and your fight will
See,
not be.
it's not, it's not my fight alone.
Yeah.
It's not my fight
Right.
alone.
Yeah. I mean, you're going. I mean, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot, way above than what we are doing.
It should be our fight.
Yeah. Yes,
It
it is.
should be
It
our
is.
fight for a fair world.
It is, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I'll
you,
let you
Deepti.
go
Thank you so
now.
much for
Every
bringing
time
this
I
up.
bring you to
Yeah.
my channel, I tend to like hold you on so long because I really like you. Thank you so much, Ji. Good night.
Thank
Good
you. The
night. Have
feeling
a
is
nice
mutual.
weekend.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. I will try and get her, to speak again, but then I don't want to disturb her so much. But yes, Dipti G is such a wonderful tigress, I would call her, for sharing all this. In fact, we all were wondering in the beginning when something happened to Sushan. The only thing we keep saying that there's something he knew. That's why he have been killed. But as much as we feel that there's something is very serious he knew, but we do not know what it is. But when you read the contents in the diaries, we sort of can put into place a lot of things. You can actually connect the dot and realize, oh gosh, he have gone to such an extent exposed, which is why he have been his life have been taken off. So may God bless. May Sushant's soul be happy wherever he is. What he wanted to expose is being exposed slowly. Those people who are involved in Sushant, somehow or other, you can see whatever happening in Maharashtra. Some people are being caught, politicians or being beat. Police people, they are actually going through some cases, the Sachin Wazi case, the Mansoor Iran case, the home minister, all that. Um, when injustice is done, the person who's involved in an injustice have involved in the injustice, or whoever gives the instruction to do such an injustice should be punished. Okay, God will not leave them alone. So this is a strong belief I have. As I always say, karma will hit back 10 times more. Thank you so much for your comments. Thanks, Runa Roy. Thanks. Please get her often. Yes, yes. I really want to, but sometimes I feel very bad because she's already doing a lot, so I do not want to disturb her. But yes, I'll continue to call her on my show. Thank you so much, everyone. There's so many messages. If we're going to scroll up, it's quite a bit, but I want to thank every one of y'all, each and every one, for joining in. And let's hope and pray justice for Sushant, justice for Sri Devi, justice for Divya Bharati, justice for Jia Khan, and justice for all those who have been killed. You know, yeah. With that, I will say goodbye and have a wonderful evening. Goodbye. Bye bye.